This place Mockingbird?
Yes, the traffic seems to be moving out of line off this road. Hey, what's your location?
I'm at the trademark now. I'll move back out that way.
I'll check it.
Simple.
531 testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
30 KKB 365.
48 pounds.
56 to 250. Didn't find anything already. Whoa, pretty good.
Clear 1234.
Any information whatsoever.
And Stemmer got all the traffic for the ambulance going to Parkland, code 3.
10-4 Parkland has been notified, 1232.
Inwood and Stemmons, so they come off Stemmons going to Parkland.
Make your circle code 324. 10-4. 35, second line 8, Labellos, Ames, northwest, 1235.
93.
91.
Disregard 21.
Some metal channel 1.
21.
3 Stemmons and Inwood got traffic.
10-4. Just this one make these with me. 75. 65 there. 65, 1236. 4, did you call? Under the traffic. 4L, Mike, button stuck open. We can't hear anything.
Attention all emergency equipment, attention all emergency equipment, do not use Industrial Boulevard, do not use Industrial Boulevard 1236.
Minor 3. Location.
Building
2-4.
35 to your seat. 61 clear. 61 clear, 1237. 190. 4 to 1131.
Keep everything out of this emergency.
21. Continue.
24. 136. Minor 3.
Stemmons, just 24, 21 going up there. Got that service road off there. Amazon got the park.
Temple, get all that information. Did you call? Yes, I don't know what happened to the traffic officers assigned to Cedar Springs and Mockingbird, but they're not there, and the traffic is really stampede. 32 clear. 32 on Mark our port to Cedar Springs, Mockingbird.
71 robbery of an individual, 2205,
405. He said if he was sitting here close to it, and his best is I want to cruise it.
23 1238
with that hurt front sign on top. Then for give you his name, address, and phone number, and all information that you can.
1238.
15 car 2. 15 car 2. Traffic in 283 cut the traffic at Hines and Industrial. 283 cut traffic Hines and Industrial. 283 cut traffic Hines and Industrial. Attention all emergency equipment. Attention all emergency equipment. Do not use Industrial Boulevard. Do not use Industrial Boulevard 1236.
What did you want to do here?
Gone through already.
Keep all traffic off of the emergency entrance to Parkland Hospital and all emergency equipment off of Industrial Boulevard.
10-4.
1. We have the emergency entrance secured at Parkland. 10-4-125, 1237. Go ahead. Yes, the man up there to come to this building is supposed to school broke the power of the toilet. Well, it blew the 2 shots come from that. As you're facing on the Elm Street, looking towards the building, it would be your upper right-hand corner. It's the second window from the end. 10-4, how many do you have there? I have one guy that was possibly hit by a ricochet from the bullet off the Pine Street. And another one that's seen President Trump. Another one here that said the white shot came from the building. 137. 10-4-1238, 137.
We have a man here said he saw him pull a weapon back through the window off of the second floor on the southeast corner of that depository building.
All right, do you have the building covered off?
No, I'm about 3/4 of a block away from it.
10-4, report on down there.
Before I know any witnesses here.
Do you want us to go back to Mockingbird and Cedar Springs? 4. 290. We can climb at 125. 125 on the Parkland. Do you want us to stay on Industrial, or where do you want us to go now? I'll state your location right now. 2. Can you give us any information as to what happened for these people out here? 2, evidently there has been a shooting with the president involved. I do not know the seriousness of it. One is at Parkland along with Dallas 1. We have information that the shots came from the 4th or 4th floor of the Book Depository store on the corner of Elm and Field. Officers are now surrounding and searching the building, 1240. Where did this happen? It was about 12:35. At Field and Main? No, sir. It was at the triple underpass between Simmons and the triple underpass. 10-4. There's a possibility that 6 or 7 more people may have been shot. 295. 295.
Leave the president's head with the pipe was blown off. 303.
10-4, 1240, 303.
What hospital does the president go to?
Markham Hospital.
10-4.
Where are you?
300's in route.
10-4. The 300 en route to Elman Field at that, correction, Elman Houston at that store.
From Rifle Hospital.
10-4.
95, this is on one out there.
295, do you know the extent of the injury?
It's not for me to say. I can't say.
Where did you get the information?
What was at the car when they took him out?
10-4, 1241.
You call?
No 5, 260.
Send your squad down here to Elm and Houston.
Do you have a suspect?
No.
10-4. 15 car 2.
Did they advise they had the suspect?
No, they do not have the suspect.
Who got shot? This Texas book depository, can you, there should be a bunch of them on Main Street, or we have somebody come down and pick up some, bring them down here.
10-4-9.
I'll start down Elm Street and pick up as many as I can on the way.
10-4, 250, 1243. 190.
I've been on this motorcycle officer here holding this traffic on Timmons. If you want to release this traffic, we go down there, or we can stay here and hold it.
Release the traffic and report code 3 to Elman Houston, 190, 1243. 15.
Well, no, contain that block or 2-block area.
Yes, we're trying to seal off that building until it can be searched.
More than the building, extend it out to maybe around the building come out of.
10-4. Yes. 02, 1244. Nine.
The wanted person in this is a slender white male, about 30, 5'10", 165, and carrying what looked like a 30-30 or some type of a Winchester.
It was a rifle.
A rifle, yes.
Any clothing description 9.
The current witness can't remember that.
Attention all squad. Attention all squad. The suspect in the shooting at Elman Houston is reported to be an unknown white male, approximately 30, slender build, height 5 feet 10 inches, weight 165 pounds, reported to be armed with what is thought to be a .30 caliber rifle. Attention all squads, the suspect from Elman Houston is reported to be an unknown white male, about 30, slender build, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 165 pounds, armed with what is thought to be a .30 rifle. No further description at this time or information. 1245 KKB $364. And 15.
Could 9 determine whether the man was still supposed to be in the building or had he left?
But he did know for sure, and the witness he had didn't have the description, but we've got that building saturated by now. We should know something before long. 9.
Well, we thought that the shot might have come from this building. It's unknown whether he's still there or not. It's unknown whether he was there in the first place.
10-4, well, all the information that we have received, 9, indicates that it did come from about the 5th or 4th floor of that building.
10-4, and we're getting enough manpower here now to shake this building down.
10-4, 1246. 5. Which building? That's the school depository.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath, but about 10 or 15 minutes ago, a tragic thing, from all indications at this point, has happened in the city of Dallas. Let me quote to you this. And you'll excuse me if I am out of breath. A bulletin, this is from the United Press, from Dallas. President Kennedy and Governor John Connally have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas. They were riding in an open automobile when the shots were fired. The president, his limp body carried in the arms of his wife, Jacqueline, has rushed to Parkland Hospital. And if you'll excuse me if I give some directions and we talk about what we're going to do here for the next few minutes, but Bobby, let's tape this, if you please, particularly the interview with the eyewitness people. It is being taped good. Here's a piece of copy that was rushed to me and was torn off from the United Press in Dallas. President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas, Texas. He was shot as a motorcade left downtown Dallas. Mrs. Kennedy jumped up and grabbed the president. She cried, "Oh no," as the motorcade sped on. An Associated Press photographer, James Algens, 8LTGENS, reports he saw blood on the president's head. The AP man said he heard 2 shots but thought someone was shooting fireworks until he saw the blood on the president. He also said he saw no one with a gun. We were awfully close. Jerry Haynes, as you know, I'm Mr. Peppermint. We were awfully close to being an eyewitness. We were standing on Houston Street between Main and the next street over. Jerry, come in, would you please? And the next street over, we watched the president come by and gave him the applaud that is due the office of the President of the United States. And as he turned left, 2 or 3 shots rang out. We thought they were firecrackers until, I thought they did, until the last shot rang out and we heard people screaming. And we rushed over in time to see a policeman standing behind one of the fire poles, looking around as if for some place to shoot, someone to shoot at. I'd like to remind you here that as the news comes into the newsroom, we will be on the air. We'll have our eyewitness people here in just a moment. Vicki, would you see if they need some coffee or something? These people are awfully shaken up. They come awfully close. They were in the line of fire. Jerry?
I remember, Jay, you said, I thought it was, a firecracker or something like that, and then they followed 1 shot, and then a second or 2 later, another shot, and then another second or 2, and then a third shot, and you said the man's been shot at, and we both turned.
No, I said, my God, that's gunshot.
That's right.
Oh.
And then we turned right over, we were behind Mr. Dealey's statue,
right.
And we ran over to the cement wall, and we saw people beginning to scatter in places, and I believe our eyewitness was on the ground.
Chair, would you do me a favor? Would you go check in the newsroom now, and as the men come in from the field, or if they have stories, please let me know, and also get someone to check with, we were supposed to take the feed from KRLD. They may still be doing a feed from there. Check and let me know. And until our news crew gets back in, we will sort of use this studio as our headquarters. These people, and you will excuse me, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm so sorry because I know that you are so upset, but I would like to talk to you for a minute. It's a little bit awkward, so the camera shots will have to fall as they may. I'm going to stand right here, and maybe somebody can give me a chair while we're doing this. May I have your name, please, sir?
Bill Newman.
And this is Mrs. Newman?
Yes, sir.
And this is?
James Clayton.
James, and this is?
Billy.
Billy, tell me what you saw and what you felt. What happened to you?
We just come from left field after seeing the President and the First Lady, and we were just in front of the triple underpass on Elm Street, and we're at the edge of the curve, getting ready to wave at the President. So
You were down under the viaduct, so to speak, weren't you?
Well, we were halfway in between
on the grass,
the triple underpass. We were at the curve when the incident happened. But the President's car was some 50 feet still yet.
In front of you?
In front of us coming towards us, and we heard the first shot, and the President, I don't know who was hit first, but the President jumped up in his seat, and I thought it scared him. I thought it was a firecracker because he looked, fear. And then as the car got directly in front of us, well, a gunshot apparently from behind us hit the President in the side of the temple.
Do you think the first gunshot came from behind you, too?
I think it came from the same location. Apparently back up on the mall. I don't know what you call it.
For the benefit of nomenclature, all of you folks have gone out under the viaduct, and as you turn, going under the viaduct on the left-hand side, there's some grass. Do you think the shot came from up on top of the viaduct toward the President? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Not on the viaduct itself, but up on top of the hill, a little mound of ground there, the garden.
How far away would you say that is from where the President was? A couple of 300 yards, something like that?
Well, I have no idea because I didn't see where the gunshot come from. We were looking directly at the President when he was hit, and he was more or less directly in front of us, and we didn't realize what happened until we seen the side of his head whenever the bullet hit him in the head.
Did you see the blood coming from the president's head?
Yes, sir. We seen that. I seen. I don't know if my wife did, but I seen that.
Oh, yes, sir. It was awful.
It is awful.
That's all. That's.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a construction worker, electrician.
Is this the first time that you have seen a president of the United States? Did you see him when he was here before in 1961?
No, sir.
No, sir. Your housewife
Yes, sir.
took the day off to come downtown and see the president?
Yes, sir, we did. We wanted our children to see it.
Were you in the line of fire? I noticed, I remember vividly whenever I walked over and looked over the banister there and saw across the street that you were down on the ground so that to keep out of the line of fire. What was the first thought that struck your mind?
I thought it was a firecracker, and I saw the blood, and I had the baby, and I just ran, and I got on top of him and laid on the grass. It just scared me. It was terrible.
Did you see anyone else hit besides the...
Governor Conley was kind of turned to the side, and he grabbed his stomach.
Okay. Thank you. Jerry, if anything else comes in, we heard a report, and I'd like to say here, for the benefit of you folks who are tuning in, who have tuned in late to watch Julie Bonnell's show, that we interrupt the program, and our program will be interrupted all day because it is apparent now that President Kennedy has been shot. We have no word in our newsroom, but we are standing by in our newsroom, and would you work as a runner with the newsroom, and as anything comes in, and if you get into the boys that come in that have been gathering the news, please bring them in so that we can have them on the air. Here is another word. We know, as we carried here, and all the stations carried this morning, the president spoke this morning in Fort Worth. He flew to Dallas, and that coverage was on. He landed here about 1:30, between 1:35 and 1:40. Vicki, did you get the coffee for the people? Bring it on in. He was to deliver a speech at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and he was on a motorcade and only about, I guess, 2 or 3 miles from where he was to make the speech in the Trade Mart whenever this terrible, disastrous thing happened, and it happened in our city. Secret Service agents that were in the car immediately began following the president. They pulled automatic rifles. I was an eyewitness to one of the policemen standing there behind a light pole, and you'll excuse me if I'm frustrated, you would be too, standing there with a pistol in his hand. The bubble of the president's car was down when the shots rang out. In fact, if I remember correctly, when they took off from the airport, there was no bubble on the car. The president slumped over in the back seat, face down. Conley lay on the floor of the rear seat. Wounds in the governor's chest were clearly visible. This is from the United Press. The wounds indicated that an automatic weapon was used. 3 loud bursts of gunfire were heard before the president and the governor fell. Just a few minutes before, Jerry Haynes and I, the president smiling and his lovely wife smiling. Do you have any idea which direction? I'm sorry, I forgot your name. I forget my name at this stage. Mr. Newman, do you have any idea which direction? Would you like to go ahead? Go right ahead. I'm so sorry that you're so upset, and I hope we're not prevailing upon your good nature to have you here, except with the news like this. Mr. Nunley, do you have any idea which direction the shots came from that hit the president or Conley? Did you say that one of the shots came from one direction and one from another, it seemed like?
No, sir. Actually, I feel that they both come from directly behind where we were standing.
Right behind you.
The president, it looked like he was looking in that direction. I don't know whether he was hit first. Apparently he wasn't. It looked like he jumped up in his seat, and when he jumped up, well, he was shot directly in the head. And I don't know what you call it, the mall behind us, but apparently that's
where he was. I know that a few minutes after that, when I came over there and asked you people if you would be kind enough to come over and be on our station today, I know that the police were all taking off up the ramp and over.
Everybody was going in that direction.
Toward the railroad.
Yes, sir.
Cars back over in there.
I just hope the man that shot the president, I just hope they don't kill him. I hope he lives. I hope he just lives to regret what he did. And that's all the comment.
The presidential advisor.
Excuse me. Jerry Haynes, you know Jerry, our Mr. Peppermint. Jerry and I were within 100 yards of where the president was shot. And Jerry, you'll have to, there's another mic here somewhere. Can we excuse our impromptu Here we go. Can we turn this? Is this one on now, Bobby?
On the Associated Press, someone had asked one of the presidential advisors or companions for any news, and he refused comment. They asked if he had been wounded fatally. And this was about 5 minutes ago that came over about the same time I brought that bulletin in.
Do we have a report yet from Parkland Hospital? Is there any word from there?
No, not yet.
Vicki, will you check in the newsroom and see if any of the newsmen are there? See if
Are we on tape or on here?
we're both. We're on the air now, and we are taping the program too. Your first appearance on television, I take it?
Yes, sir. It's
And isn't it a shame that it's under the conditions that we're under now?
Yes, sir. It's a shame.
I would like to recap a little bit for those of you who might have turned in late. Jared, go ahead and just do as you have to do to see if we can get some further details in here. And also, you might check with Don Easterwood and see if there is some way we can get a telephone in here that we can take beep telephones. Will you, Jared? Or someone? Good. I'd like to recap for you the reason we are on the air. And it can best be said by these bulletins from the United Press, and then I will tell you what I know. The bulletin from the United Press. Thank you, Helen. President Kennedy and Governor Connally of Texas have been cut down by assassins' bullets in downtown Dallas. They were riding in an open automobile when the shots were fired. The president, his limp body cradled in the arms of his wife, Jacqueline, had been rushed to Parkland Hospital. A follow-up on that from the United Press. I read just a minute ago. And I can't, yes, here it is.